Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Swift Riders Germany Autumn Series Race 2 out of 4. My name is Jesper Anker, and once again, for the second consecutive week in a row, it is a pleasure to be your host tonight here on Swift Community Live. It is so much fun to see them race last week as they raced on the jungle circuit. We saw one lap, which was roughly 23 kilometers, with Jeff Cunha taking the win. Thomas Jendrusch, I believe, of Germany was up there with Sven Kraft as well in fourth place. It was great racing all around, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do today once it all goes live in about a minute's time. So again, it's the Swift Riders Germany race. There's 4 rounds in total, and it's going to be great to see as they race today on the Watopia flat course. So they are not on New York, which is a bit of a controversy, but I think when they organized this, they organized it with a mind that New York wouldn't actually be out. So they're on Watopia today, which does make sense. But we're going to see what happens when it all kicks off. It would be fun, though, to see them race on New York. But today, we're going to be on Watopia. Watopia, 1 lap flat. So you've seen the course so many times. Usually it's more than just 1 lap. But today, it'll be 10 kilometers of racing in 30 seconds. You're going to see the start line go down. The racers are going to go off. And when they go off, they're going to turn left and down into the tunnel. Come out on the other side of the tunnel after a short kicker. Once they've done that, they get onto the gravel roads by the jet turbines, the air turbines. I'm not sure what the word for that is in English. Turn right, and then they go through the Italian village, and they're basically at the very end through the S's. So who's going to take the win today? Well, it's a good question. In 10 seconds' time, we'll see who's made the start list. I'm hoping to see last week's winner, Jeff Cunha of PTC, I believe he races for. I'm hoping to see Sven Kraft and Thomas Jendrusch as well. But here goes the start. So here they're off. I see Magnus Dennis in here, Kurt Moldestad is in here, Anke Till from Germany. Quite a famous name if you're into cycling, but there is a French counterpart who's won quite a lot in cycling. So Moldestad is in here. Sven Kraft has made the start. Doving of Team X, I believe. If we look further down, Rough Riders is represented with Mueller. We also see Matthias Lundqvist of Team Activitus. We've got Mathieu Drujean of France, who races for Team Vision and also is this French national champion of Zwift. I also saw Phil Whiteley in here somewhere out of the UK, a rider who qualified for the European E-Crit finals in London about half a year ago now. Fun story. He's never going to live this one down. He managed to scalp himself in the knee. Yes. So prior to the event, since he's a vet, he accidentally scalped himself in the knee, and he showed up with a massive band-aid for the racing. But we're underway. 500 meters down so far. Everything is together. We've got the group at the front. Everyone knows the drill so far. You come fast out of the start gate, and then suddenly the blob effect takes over, and you're all together as you're on this long, flat road. But only 1 lap today. It's going to be really interesting to see how the peloton plays this, because 10 kilometers of racing on Zwift, it's roughly the equivalent of 12 to 13 minutes of racing. So in 13 minutes of racing, that's barely enough time to actually wake up the legs and get ready to go. You're only really starting to feel the pain in the last 3 minutes perhaps. So there's some time where maybe some newcomers, some names that haven't really contested the win in the Kisses, the Swift Riders Germanys, the Wahooligan Leagues, but they might be in here and amongst the action. And since it is such a short race, you might actually be able to push that much harder. But again, it is just me here today. I don't have a co-commentator like I usually do for the Australian E-Crits and the Chubb races, where I usually have Wesley Salzberger and Pat Shaw commentating with me. So that means you, the spectator, the viewer, the commenter, are my co-host. You are my expert analysis. So I am reading the chat. I see Russ Crowder and Matt Brander in there. So if you do spot something of notice, if you notice a trend, or if you've got something you want to say, feel free to drop that in the comment section below, and I might just pick up on it, because I cannot see everything in the race. I do my very, very best as we move on to Linkelbach of IBC, Dayan B, probably some mountain bike riders, I think. There he is, Phil Whiteley, taking out the lead at the front. But at this point in the race, Phil Whiteley's heart rate is sitting around 140. I reckon it goes to about 160, 170. So he's sitting very comfortably. He races for Team BRT, Team Bold Racing Team. He's sitting in and he's doing his thing. M. Collins is also in here. Looks like he is under 17, and he's also in that Team Dimension Data Swift Academy jersey, which means M. Collins has completed the Swift Academy, done 100%, and gotten that green kit exclusive to those that completed Swift Academy Men's in the year of 2018. And I do believe that is is now officially over as well. So if you didn't get it, well, you're going to have to wait for next year for Swift Academy to open up once again. Looking at the favorites, I mean, Matthew Drujean has to be considered a massive favorite. He's sitting at 5 watts per kilo now at the back. He's an ex-pro rider. He's raced for Big Mat, Kazakhstan. He's a French rider. On Swift, he's known as a sprinter, as he's got a lot of power to go with. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays this one, as it is a short race. He's used to those long Grand Tour. Actually, I don't actually think Matthew Drujean competed in a Grand Tour, but he's done the week-long stage races, the 10-day stage races. So he does know the longer efforts, the perceived efforts. So seeing him handle 10 kilometers will be quite interesting. But he's obviously strong enough on Swift to see if he's rocking that French tricot on the back. Looking through the Germans that I made it today, we've got S. Picker from Swift Riders Germany. We got Bulk, we got Paula, we got Hahn is in here, Otto, Eisenhardt. I am Danish. I could try and pronounce these names in German, as the region I'm from in Denmark, which is Sønderborg, southern Germany. We do get taught German at a very early age, but unfortunately, I chose really not to listen to that class. So bear with me, all the Germans, and thank you so much for giving me on that one. But Bona Kessel, 4.5 at the front, racing in the A's today. Damitz of Swift Riders Germany is also in here. It's also worth mentioning, as do see as we come out of the tunnel, one of the quick inclines here. Phil Whiteley takes it up at the front, 8 watts per kilo. We see Anquetil, we see Kangas, we see Maersk, we see Collins. It's one of the kicks on this course where we can make a difference. A featherweight has actually been popped in the back group by Dan, it looks like, from Denmark. No, that is Collins who's popping that featherweight, and he's using it here. He's going to get one more power up as he goes through the Italian village, and he's really going to have to hope to get a right one there. Sven Kraft moves to the front as well. If you enter this race without an aero power up, I feel like you made a mistake. I feel like you strategized incorrectly, because this race is so short. I sincerely doubt we're going to see a breakup in the action, as we've already over a third of the way through the race. If you don't have that aero power up for the sprint finish, you're going to make it very difficult for yourself. Maybe Collins didn't have the time to get an aero. Maybe he was trying and kept getting consecutive featherweights. That has happened to me multiple times, especially yesterday when I was warming up for a race. I kept getting featherweights, and I was just wishing to the Swift gods for an aero power-up, but I just would never get him. So he's going to hope, he's going to have to pray, and he's going to need your help to cross your fingers, and hoping that he gets an aero power-up as he goes underneath that Italian Village sprint banner. If you do hear my voice being a bit different to usual, I've just returned from the UK Swift Tour with Wahoo in Bristol and Cardiff, and I do get a tiny bit overexcited at those events, which means my voice gets strained heavily, so I do have a bit of a sore throat. So if I lose my voice at some point, or if I have to take a second to cough, I do apologize, but I'm still recovering for that. And tomorrow we'll be in Leeds as well, so that'll be interesting for the third and final destination on the Swift Tour. Matthias Lundqvist, got to be one of the favorites up there as well. He may not be German, but he's Swedish. He's one of the strongest Swedish guys on Swift, a guy to be reckoned with next year in the Swedish National Championships. He's got his own little coaching business. And he's no stranger to the Swedish Swift riders, where I think he organizes group workouts on the weekly. So I would definitely look out for him as we come through the sprint. So now we go over this bridge. Still relatively flat. At the end of this bridge, we turn right, we turn left. There's a bump, and then it's downhill into the Italian Village. Then we got an incline where you can make a bit of a difference. It's a 10-second all-out effort, what you've got. And then you go into the S's. You got to recover, but stay on top of it. And then we've got the sprint finish. In the Swift Riders Germany, I like how short and steep and fast they're making this. It's short enough for somebody to really break it up if they go for the front, as we see Kurt Moldestad is doing. Kurt Skarnes Moldestad of FSK is going on the front with that Tron bike. Definitely got the kit with him. The pink Tron bike and the pink kit as well. But it is difficult. Matthew Drujean is on his case. So is Doving. So is Matthias Lundqvist. You can see the 5 favorites, including Sven Kraft. They're all on it. They all know this is where, if you're going to make a breakaway, it's the next 3 to 4 kilometers that are all so crucial. So they're all staying together. They're all marking each other. Now Moldestad tries again. He may not have the best sprint. I can't actually speak to that, because usually it's my good friend and colleague Nathan Guerra who broadcasts whenever Moldestad is racing. I've heard his name for about 2 years. Moldestad! I couldn't go as high as Nathan on that one, but usually he's the one commentating on this, so it'll be interesting to see how Moldestad does play this finish, but we do know he's a force to be reckoned with. Sven Kraft, We called him out last week for poor strategy. He commented, he went back to the live stream and watched it and went like, yeah, Jesper criticized me for my arrow power-up usage. And yeah, maybe I should have listened. So great attack though. Great move to try and shake things up. But I hope that Sven has learned his lesson this week as he's sitting at 188 heartbeats. He's definitely a guy that goes to 200. So we'll see what Sven Kraft can do. Does he have that arrow power up? Is he ready for the sprint finishes? We've got Cloutier in here from Innovation Cycling as well. There are some really big hitters in here tonight. Dane as well. I would be very surprised to see an underdog take this victory. There's at least 6 or 7 Swift juggernauts in here that I could definitely see taking this up. And Phil Whiteley, speaking of one of the juggernauts, 7 watts per kilo, 6 watts per kilo. His demise, though, is going to be that nobody went with him. 2 cents back to Den. He's just alone out in the front now. He's using that Tron bike to the maximum capacity, but he doesn't really have a sprint on him. He's got a decent kick, but not one to beat the Matthias Lundqvist, the Matthew Drujans. So he's trying to break things up, and he does realize this as we're heading into the Italian village onto the cobblestones. If you're on a Tax Neo, you'll start to feel the vibrations. He turns right, left, and this is about where our young man Collins is going to be hoping for that arrow power up. Bonnekessel is trying to do a counter attack over the top. Again, he should have gone with Phil Whiteley when he had the chance. I don't think that's the last we've seen of M. Bonnekessel of Swift Riders Germany. And there's always that level of personal pride on the line when you're racing your home race, when you're racing that German organized race. This is the race that your club puts on display every time, and recently Nathan Guerra and I have picked this up for Swift Community Live, and now this is the race you really want to display your power. You want to show to every other club, every other racing team on Swift that you are the superior ones, and it looks like Sven Kraft is the guy flying that flag the loudest with the lack of Jendrush tonight. Here they go. That is the banner. If you haven't already gotten a power up, this is where you've got your second chance. Everyone is looking at that wheel of fortune up in the top left-hand corner. So it goes do 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 do. Well, experience, and everyone cries out loud. But here we go. Get ready. Explosion is about to come up. Cloutier in the front. Featherweight being popped by Matthias Lundqvist. He knows this is the best place to use it. It's 6%, 7% in that top right-hand corner. It's a 10-second effort, but it's also a 10 watts per kilo effort as Matthias Lundqvist is going in on it. Joe Rowe of... Is that the Republic of Ireland, it looks like? But he's got Moldestad with him. Masrak, Whiteley, Doving. It really looks like it's a big hitter. We do see Jendrush. He's hidden in there. Jendrush is in here of Rough Riders. He's made it. And last week, he finished second in the sprint in the jungle circuit. It is a hillier circuit, but we've got 2 kilometers to go now. Has anyone gone over the top? This is where you can go. Matthias Lundqvist is sitting at 7 watts per kilo. He's catching up to Cloutier, and he's got him back. What does he do now? 2 kilometers to go. Just under 2 kilometers to go, actually. As Matthias is at the front of 5 watts, so is Claudius, so is Moldestad, so is Whiteley. All the big hitters. Where is Matthew Drujan? This is where he comes into fruition. There he is. You can see he's sitting at the back of this group, but he used his drafting power up. He's not going to have an arrow into the sprint. So neither Matthias nor Matthew are going to have power ups in this sprint. Swift Riders Germany, this is your chance. You can beat some of the biggest hitters on Swift in your own race on home turf. Kilometer to go now as they're about to exit the essays. One last left, right, left. And then they go down into the tunnel, down into the cave. Everyone has done this sprint so many times on Swift. And if you haven't, shame on you, because it's the most used sprint in all of Swift racing. Phil Whiteley's on the front. So is Sven Kraft. So is Damas. So is Frederick. Oh, turning right now. 1 kilometer to go now. 1 kilometer. Another drafting power up being used in here. Definitely going to be some lessons in... Oh, Anquetil. Anquetil is going. Anquetil is off the front. But so is Matthew Drushan. It's Drushan who's aggravated this. He's instigated the attack. 12 watts per kilo. Anquetil is on 9. Drushan is going long. And nobody, absolutely nobody, except for Anquetil, can get on that wheel. Let's see. Anquetil from Germany. This is technically a French matchup now with Anquetil versus Matthew Drushan. Can he do it for Swift Riders Germany? Come on, Anquetil. Stay in there. Drushan is still at 7. He's at 6. He's coming down. Anquetil is coming around now, but they're chasing. Peloton is coming in fast. 300 meters to go. Drushan is kicking back up. 7 watts per kilo. Come on, Anquetil. For Germany. Finishes off. It's Matthew Drushan versus Anquetil. 10 watts per kilo, but Matthew Drushan looks to be dead. 150, 100. No, Drushan is coming around on the line. It is neck and neck, but Anquetil fine. 16. What? That was weird. What? So, what? Go instant replay on that one. Anquetil just went to 1200 watts. That was either a trainer manufacturer mistake or there was some iffiness going on in that one. I think the organizers will have to have a look. But it looks like Phil Whiteley came in third, Drushan second, and Anquetil in first. That was weird. So results pending. Look over on swiftpower.com for the updates in the Swift Riders Germany race. And later on this evening, it's going to be Nathan Guerra commentating the Wahooligan and No Pins League on WBR. It's the finale, which finishes on the Volcano Climb. So make sure to tune into that. My name's been Jesper Anker, and it's been a pleasure. This has been a great race. And next time on Tuesday, I will be back same time for the third race out of 4 in the Swift Riders Germany League. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.